Hey guys, it's the holidays, and I'm sure many of you are wondering which watch to take or which watches to take with you on a trip. It's often a question that I debate over for days before any trip. And in my past vacations with the families, I took the U50 from Zin. Such a cool watch, 500 meters of water resistance. That's probably 470 more than I really need. But really cool with that dark coating, tegmented steel. I'm not sure actually if the coating could be scratched off. I suppose it could, but so far it looks still brand new. So I've put it through its paces. It's just a very cool looking watch, very technical, but this limited edition with the blue dial really looks great with everything. It looks great on holiday. Always have it on that parachute strap. It's great. The only thing is that once it's wet, it's a bit maybe uncomfortable for the evening. You gotta wait for it to dry out. Last time I took this, and I took an Explorer, my Explorer from Rolex, to have something a bit more snazzy in the morning, in the evening. And like I said, that was a great combo. But yeah, there's newcomers this year. Of course, the Black Bay 54. To me, it has dethroned in my collection the 58, which was my other go-to watch for the holidays. The 54, just a fantastic design. Lug to lug is similar to the 58, so it still wears very well. Very, very full on the wrist, but it's thinner left to right. One thing, two things. I had to add a half link from a third-party company in order to really make the best of the T-Fit clasp. I was just between two links, and I was just full out or fully in. Never really comfortable, and this way it's much more enjoyable. And one thing I've noticed, and thought it was just in my mind, but comparing to the 58 and my other watches, it is quite sharp, especially here at the end of the very sharp end of the lugs. But even the bracelet feels a bit more raw, a bit more sharp. Although it should be the same bracelet, right? More or less than the 58 and other watches from the range. But yeah, it feels a bit sharper, and that's kind of weird. I'm not sure if somebody else has mentioned it. If not, well, there you go. You've heard it first. But so far on the wrist, it's never been really an issue. And that's a great watch because it has 200 meters of water resistance. You can still time things with the bezel. Great vintage look from the original Submariners. And of course, you get the lume. And by the way, I'm recording this from home, and I should be with my family in Vietnam. Turns out yesterday at the airport, my passport from Belgium needed a visa, like most Westerners do, and my family, my wife and kids, have a Japanese visa. They didn't need the visa, and I tried to apply for it online. And it's been over 24 hours, still haven't received it. I'm guessing there's nobody working in Vietnam checking those things on the weekend. I don't know why some countries still have those need for a visa. I can't give it on arrival to everyone. Yeah, okay, you reduce the line time, but I mean, it reminded me why we just go to Thailand, because everything is really made for tourism, to be easy and safe and quick and convenient. Vietnam is is very close to Hong Kong, just an hour and a half flight. But there you go. Day 2, I'm still not in Vietnam. My family is there. My wife is taking care of everything. Too bad. We were only going there for 5 days, so even if I get it overnight today, what's the point going for just 1.5 day basically? But that's for the backstory going on here. Now, staying with the Tudor. I mean, something maybe a bit less comfortable, but I really got used to it, and I love the feel of the larger GMT. So we're 41 millimeters, a classic Tudor Black Bay size. This one has the GMT. I'm really addicted to the mass and the larger 22 millimeter lug width. It kind of pinches here a little bit more, I find, but this one I don't need any adjustment. It's just somehow fits just great all the time. A great watch too, with the GMT complication, which really that doesn't really do anything apart from looking cool. But yeah, it's a heavier watch, so it feels okay when I can change anytime I want in Hong Kong. But on a trip, I don't want to be stuck with a watch that might feel too heavy and cumbersome on the wrist. So of course, it's a cool watch to travel with. It's made for travel. But I think I was aiming at the, well, actually I went to the airport with with this one. Staying with those second time zone complications. Brand new to my collection is the Omega Seamaster Aquaterra World Timer. Really a super cool piece. It's bigger, it's 42, bit of a showpiece, but without the bracelet that pairs down the mass. The green as well is fairly dark, so it doesn't look as big as if it was, say, white or silver, for example. And just a super cool watch, and it's one that really attracts the eyes. There's little bumps now under the strap, which is nice because the older straps could really trap your wrist and become irritating. So those little bumps do a lot to make it a lot more comfortable. You have a nice show of the movement on the back. Anti-magnetic, which is great when you pass through those airport security checks. Of course, you got the World Timer feature. Cool to follow what's going on in London if you're timing the start of the games in Wimbledon. Of course, green, great color, very trendy. And yeah, that's also a strong contender. It is, it's brand new, of course, very fresh, so I don't really want to damage it too much in the pool with the sun cream and all that. You know, I'm relaxed with this because you can easily wash it off. Well, of course, you can wash this off as well, but don't know if it's going to fare as good as metal. But of course, you can always replace it. But it's a more expensive watch. I just got it. Still babysitting a little bit. This one as well. I never really feel like babysitting the 58 and the 54 because they look better with a bunch of scratches because they have that vintage style. Makes them looking a bit more true. Yeah, this one is it's also a cool one. So let me know in the comments if you would take the Omega. But of course, the big dog, the one that's started it all, that's still to me the best diver ever made by Rolex, and anyone for that matter, is my Sea Dweller, which is a very specific one, the Sea Dweller 4000 as people call it. It's a 40 millimeter, not the 43 modern, and yes, it's got the ceramic, it's got the glide lock, so all the modern good stuff, the great lume, the blue lume, but you don't get the Cyclops, which is great, but you still have the dates, so convenient. This is the best sports watch for me. It's barely wider, thicker than the Submariner. And it looks much better because they really captured a bit the vintage style. They didn't give it the really wide lugs, and yet you just have a 20 millimeter bracelet. To me, it's unbeatable. What would throw it over the edge would be to have a green bezel, then I would never wear anything else. Sometimes black on black, yeah, it's a bit sad. But actually, I find it to have quite a bit of color. There's more like shades of gray than black to it. So somehow, and on the wrist, it just feels much better than all the other watches. Well, the U50, you don't barely feel it on a parachute strap, but the same can be said for any watch. But yeah, when you wear this, it just feels so smooth. They really work on making their watches feel so good on the wrist at Rolex. And Tudor is very good, but it's not quite there. and I've A/B'd them, just to be sure. And really, there's something special about the way Rolex sports watches and all their watches wear. Omega very good, but it wears bigger. Of course, the problem with the Sea Dweller, the only problem, it's more expensive watch to start with, so you might not want to travel with that. This one has become quite the collectible, and I think it should be the most collectible modern Rolex. It's just such a fantastic piece, and they've gone away from this size. And the new Submariners have a wider bracelet to counteract the look of those very wide lugs. They had the right formula with this Sea Dweller, and they strayed away from that path, and that makes this one so much more special, which is why I don't necessarily want to take it on holiday. Don't want to damage it, bang it too much. Although this might be the one I take tomorrow if I do get my visa, because after all, it's got 4,000 feet of water resistance, which you do need to check once in a while. I just had it checked. And but yeah, if anything happens, it would cost more to replace it, but I would replace it because there's nothing that can replace the Sea Dweller 4000. So yeah, at the end of the day, U50 can never go wrong, but sometimes I want something a bit more classy. So I think at the moment my idea is to go with this for the holidays, to have a brand new model, which is always cool. Put it to the test. Have something that has a vintage look, but great water resistance, good lume. Very good choice. But yeah, guys, let me know in this selection which one is your favorite. What are you guys gonna wear for your holidays? Are you taking more than one watch? I think it's a good way also to travel, but at the same time, if you only have one watch, it's always on your wrist. It can't be stolen. If you have watches in the safe, the staff in every hotel has one code to open every safe. So it's never really that's as safe as you would think. It's just makes you think it's safe. So that's why I also like to just have one watch, and also I like to forget about watches. So you have one, you wear it all the time, and you just forget about the rest, switching watches. Because holidays, it's also a good time to take a holiday from the watches, because we speak about them so much. At one point you need a little reset, and it's cool to have just one. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys in Vietnam, in Da Nang, maybe I get to see you tomorrow evening and the day after, if I get lucky and get my visa. Otherwise, it will be for another time. Bye bye, guys.